I hope you guys had a great week. We had a great week at the office. For one thing, we celebrated Lisa's birthday. Shot a couple videos with Woody.
Hi, I'm Woody Robertson, Chief Development Officer at Lumerit Education.
Daniel and Julian made us some rad custom cornhole boards. Gonna move on the green. Kind of amazing. And those cornhole boards were for the company cookout that was happening the next day. It was an employee appreciation day.
Really quickly.
But before all of that, Julie and Eric and I got to tour Ktsa, the radio station, because we had just recently bought a bunch of advertising through them and they offered to let us use one of their studio spaces. So we went to go check that out. Then we got the full tour of the station. So that was all pretty neat.
Ben?
Yep.
All right.
Pretty close up.
I take it, do you guys listen to any of these radio stations? Probably not. Probably not. Yeah, nobody. What do you listen to? Pandora? Spotify. Yeah. I barely know what that is. Spotify. They're always thinking at night what their content's going to be. And calls come in. Based off the call, he puts the name of the caller here, what they're referencing or what's in regards to. It shows up on the screen on the inside there. So he knows when to go to that caller, who he wants to go to, or who just might sit there the whole show. Get a picture of that guy right there. Believe it or not, that's a conservative news talk radio station host.
I'm Sean. This is my dumb little show. It's 6 minutes after 4 and the phone lines are open.
This week I interviewed Rachel Sotomayor, who is an admissions counselor with us. It's a pretty fun interview. You should check it out. But before I do that, I also just wanted to let you guys know that coming later this week, we're adding 100 different options to Unbound degree plans that are instructor-led courses. Enjoy this interview with Rachel, and I'll see you guys next week.
Yeah.
I was curious, how did you find Lumerit?
So I heard about Lumerit back when it was College Plus, way back in the day, through Jonathan Brush. He did a presentation at a local church back in Virginia where I used to live. And my mom dragged me along to that. I was in high school at the time, and she was looking into my college options, so she forced me to go. And but you know, as you've met Jonathan, he's like the best speaker ever. So I immediately was like super captivated by the idea of the program, and that's how I heard about it. And we signed up almost immediately. So.
And what was your major?
Communications.
How did you start here on an internship?
I actually started on a paid position, so to make kind of a long story short, I met Madison Baldridge through the first College Plus mission trip that went to Ecuador back in 2015. A student counselor position opened up at the company, and she threw my name in the hat without telling me, and then was like, hey, guess what? I referred you to my boss, so get your resume together. She knew I'd been kind of looking for new opportunities, so was like waiting to hear back about this job, like waiting. And then it all happened so fast. I mean, over a period of 2 weeks, I found out I got the job and then was expected here 2 weeks later. So yeah, it was just like the nature of like the situation. They just needed me here. So I was like, yeah, absolutely. So I literally put in my 2 weeks notice, worked up until the day that I moved here. So I got up at 5:45 a.m. for a shift. That's when my shift started. Worked till 11:30 at a half shift, and then I literally got in my car, picked up my parents, and we drove to San Antonio.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well, I guess one of the things I did see is you've been posting videos online of you playing and singing, like you're into music.
I was wondering if you're going to bring this up. Yes, yeah. I do that. I do.
Would you like to elaborate?
Yeah.
So I'm just curious, like, so when did you get into music and how did you
Great question. I have always loved music. I've been singing since I was 10 years old.
Yeah.
I mean, music is such a huge part of who I am. I've just been like so busy over, I don't know, I got like graduated high school, started working right away, kept earning my degree, and I just like didn't put as much time into it as I would have wanted to. Like, wish I really would have kept with it pretty consistently, because I think I'd be a lot further than I am now, but it's something that's always been a constant in my life. So I've always practiced it, always just, I can't imagine not singing. It's something I love to do. And I grew up singing in church as well, so that played a big part into just having a passion for it. So now I'm kind of at a spot where I'm leveling out. Like, I work, but I have time also to commit to hobbies and stuff, and I'm kind of towards the tail end of my degree. So I started making videos just to like put it out there, because I have so many friends who are like, oh my gosh, just do it already. Like, just do it. So I decided to go for it. At first I was like, I'm probably gonna make these videos, they're gonna be kind of like crappy and in my room, not great quality, but as I've been doing it, I've just been enjoying it so much that I wanna keep learning more and making them better. So I didn't expect to love it as much as I do, but I mean, the other day I was recording for 7 hours and I looked up and I was like, it is 11:30 at night, what happened?
Like you didn't even think about it.
Right, exactly. So I was like, wow, I actually wanna get better at this, I really love it, so.
What kinds of music inspire you?
I love that question. Yeah, I love that question. I'm really inspired by artists that, you know, there's so many different genres of music and so much different kind of music out there, but really, and this is like a really simple answer, but music that moves me. So I love music where you listen to it and you're like, wow, that's just like poetry. You know, it's not, while I can get down to some just regular cliche like pop music or whatever, music that really you can tell somebody put their feelings and their life experience into, that's the kind of music that I love listening to, because that's the kind of music that moves people when they listen to it and they relate to it because it was from life experience.
For other students in a similar situation where they've got a lot of things going on in their life and so they're moving a little bit slower, but because you're so close to finishing, any advice?
Yeah, I know it can be like really discouraging, and I experienced this personally going through the program. There's like your superstars, you know, like the prodigies, where they're like 15 years old and they have like 112 credits and you're like, what is happening?
Yeah.
That is amazing, and I'm just always like encouraging those people, like that's so awesome. But at the same time, a huge reason why I started the program and why I was so passionate about it is that it did allow me to like do life while I was getting my degree. I didn't have to be tied down to a university for 4 years. I didn't have to only travel over like spring break, or, you know, I got to see the world and still be pursuing my education. I got to get work experience and still be able to pursue my education. So like, you be okay with going slow, you know, and it's really hard because you have the flexibility of like online courses and you want to breeze through them and be able to say like, I graduated in 2 years, and it's like, that's awesome. If that's your goal, go for it. But if it's more important to you to really get that experience, don't let it discourage you if it takes you longer, because at the end of the day, you're gonna come out with a degree, and you're also gonna be able to look over those years and be like, I did so much.
Cool. Well, I really appreciate your time.